over here.
Yeah, Jason.
And I was wondering, were you here last year?
Yeah.
And you
Alrighty, let's get it going. Here we are at the very first obstacle closed gate. Oops. We're off the back already. They're up there. I can see a couple people still, but yeah, this first little single track has a lot of sage. So we're in some big roots. It looks like it's gonna open up here. Maybe we can ride some of this.
Yeah, there we go.
Ready? All right. Well, I guess we're finally settling in a little bit now. We finally hit this Forest Service road, and we made it through the brushy single track back there. And now we're just climbing. We are dead last at the moment. We are way off the back of the group, and hopefully we'll start catching up a little bit. Crushing it. Yee. Almost to the top.
Yeah.
She got it. Just a couple more switchbacks. All right, so here we are. We're just kind of at the summit, I think, of this first main climb, and still letting the nerves settle a bit here, and we're just trying to, you know, get some forward momentum here before too long. So we're just trying to keep a steady pace, and then we're gonna assess the damage later. But I am trying to remind myself to stay in the present moment as much as possible. I know that at the end, it's when you're gonna look back and you're gonna wish you had just stayed more present and took in the scenery and enjoyed the process. So I'm trying to remind myself to do that. How's that? How are the views up here?
Amazing. Feels like they're in the mountains.
Yeah, I was hoping for trees.
Oh, these are really interesting flowers.
Yeah. Cool rock formations up there, huh? flowers too. It's got the super bloom here. Yeah, hopefully chorizo should be. I know, this is so crazy. Wow, what a lot of single track so far on this route. A lot more than I thought. Wow, those flowers don't look real at all. It's so cool. Yeah, it did. Wonder who the engineer was who engineered this road. How are you feeling so far?
Not too bad. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. There's been, there's been definitely done a lot of, I don't know, just a second.
A lot of climbing.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of hike-a-bike.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we'll say this. Most of the miles so far have just been very slow. Back there, it was this kind of grassy field where it doesn't look like there was a trail before until today. And a lot of like, what do you call those washes that we were in? A lot of washes where it's full of sand. And the snow sections at the top, wow, those were hard to hike a bike through. So these are definitely, so far, very hard miles. There was a little bit of highway mileage back there, probably 10 miles. So that was like a nice little, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a break because we're getting a headwind.
Yeah, and the traffic, there was a lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. But the sun's starting to get lower in the sky. So we definitely have not made it as far as we were hoping to by this point in the ride.
Oh, it's so nice and peaceful out here.
You ready?
We've seen a lot of different things today. We started up in the snow and did some hike bike through the snow, and then came down to the valley, and there was some, we went through a wash, and that took us into this amazing valley with some rock formations that were really cool.
Beautiful formations, yeah.
And now we're in the Carrizo Plain.
Almost.
It's almost, not quite. Yeah, we got a little off track back there for a minute. It was a little bit tricky navigation, but we're back on track now.
Cool.
So.
And we gotta drop all the way down. I don't know if you can see it, but we are descending all the way down into that valley down there, through those flowers and hills. And then we gotta ride through the whole Carrizo and make a big giant loop back. camping up there. All right, well, it's morning on day 2, and we are just getting ready to roll out here. We stayed here last night in the Carrizo Plain. It was a little bit cold, but not bad. I didn't get too cold. Miss Cool's got a little cold. So we're gonna get started now. We haven't had breakfast yet, but we want to get rolling first, and then maybe eat something in a little bit. We're kind of curious what it's gonna be like today. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer today, and we have very limited water supplies, so gonna be very conservative. We got to go all the way down through the valley over there and around through those hills beyond and back all the way up to the start where we started last night. This is the way to do it, yeah.
It's the perfect road to start on. It's gradual.
Smooth.
And
Super bloom. It's gradual, smooth, and super bloom. And Miss Coles has her coffee. Look at that. I just want to film every angle right now with all these flowers. It's just so hard to not want to pull the camera out. I'm gonna have 100 gigabytes of B-roll in Carrizo. My whole card's gonna be maxed out before we even get up and back up into the mountains. This is just absolutely insane. This tour could not have been timed more perfectly, huh?
oh yeah.
I mean, the organizers just pick a date, right? They didn't know it was gonna be like this. We are moving our way across the valley here, Carrizo Plain, and this is 7 Mile Road. So I think it's 7 miles across this valley. The San Andreas Fault, we're going to be riding right along the San Andreas Fault for the next 40 miles. So this is the north end of the route, the furthest north we're going to be riding. So we should start heading a little more east, and then we're going to start heading south.
Yeah.
And then maybe we won't be in a headwind. think we're finally gonna make it off this mountain. Oh my, this was the hardest road I've ever ridden in my life.
Yeah, it was the hardest road we've ever ridden.
I didn't even think I honestly did not know if we were gonna be able to get out of here tonight.
Yeah, me too.
I thought we were gonna run out of water and we were gonna be finishing it up tomorrow with no water somehow. But, oh well, let's keep going. Good morning. It's day 3 of Tour de Los Padres. And we made it last night into this little town called New Cuyama. We arrived around 9:30, so the store was actually closed when we got here. We missed it by half an hour. But that's because we were on the ridge for a lot longer than we expected. I think it took us about, what, over 6 hours to go like 20 miles on the ridge.
That was probably the longest 20 miles we've ever
the hardest 20
done.
miles
Yeah.
of my life. So we were really just not sure if we were ever going to get off that mountain last night. And we literally got there just as the sun, we got to the end of the last climb just as the sun was setting. And we descended down into the Carrizo Plain, and then we had a couple little gravel road climbs to do to get out of there, and then we made it here last night. There was a good 15 miles of highway to get here, so we made it here last night. It is now day 3. It's the morning. We're getting a really late start. We tried to sleep in. That's what our thought was yesterday while we were pushing our bikes up every climb. We were thinking, well, why don't we just try to get to here and then we'll get a late start tomorrow. Hopefully get a good night's sleep. But I didn't sleep that well. I don't even know if I slept last night.
Yeah, I know how that goes when you're just kind of tossing and turning and never quite falling asleep.
Yeah. So today's plan is just get started. We're gonna pack enough food to do 2 more days to finish this. We have about 110 miles left, which I would have thought before going into this that would be fine. We could do 110 miles a day, no problem. But just the technicality of all the climbing and the descending and the, just all the technical stuff we ran into, the challenges, it prevented us from really pushing the mileage. And so we don't know what the mountains are like from here on. It could be like yesterday where you have to do a lot of hike a bike stuff. So we're gonna plan to stay one more day out there, stay one more night and then finish tomorrow. Otherwise, if we push through tonight, we could potentially finish it today, but it will be really late. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. We're just gonna do today as just go with the flow today.
Yeah, not quite sure how far we're gonna go or where we're gonna end up sleeping.
We do need to resupply at the store, so that's why we ended up staying here last night. We would have liked to start the climb, and there was a campground about halfway up that would have been probably a lot quieter than sleeping here in town with all the noise from the road.
Yeah.
But we missed the store, so we kind of out of luck there.
Yeah. We ended up finding a little cafe that was still open.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to get a couple beverages.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
We talked to one of the other riders there too, and he said that that he saw the profile on the ridge and just said, no thanks. So he just cut that whole part out and came here instead. And I was like, oh man, had I known what that ridge was going to be like, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
But it's one of those life experiences where you're going to look back on that time and say, I cannot believe we did that.
Yeah, and there were some parts that were so steep that I couldn't push my bike up, so you saved me and came back and helped me push it up.
Man,
those climbs.
I just felt so bad. I kept thinking, what did I get Miss Cools into?
Oh,
She's
no.
back there. These bikes are, we're not riding the lightest bikes, obviously, and we brought all of our sleeping stuff and all of our water. There's no water out there, so we had to carry extra water, which is heavy. And we're just going up this, 30% dirt incline just having to push our bikes. And then you go down, it's just like, it's like up and then just drop straight down and then start all over again. And there must have been, what, 30 something of those?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And it literally took 6 hours or more to do that ridge for us.
Yeah.
And somehow there's a group of guys, they rode the whole thing nonstop and they finished already. That's amazing. I don't know.
That blows me away.
It does. It's like, what?
It's like,
What? We're like only 160 miles in and they're already done last night. I couldn't believe that when he said that.
yeah.
That was even more demoralizing than being up on the ridge and just not knowing if you're ever getting off of it, was to get down and then hear that, oh yeah, there's like 3 guys, they're already done. Wow. Congratulations to those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know who they were, but yeah, they're definitely cut out for this type of stuff. So they're cut from the correct cloth, and I think I might not be cut from that same cloth.
You are. I just don't. I think. Well, we just would have had to. We brought all our sleeping stuff, which I'm glad we did. We just didn't know. We were not familiar with the climbs or anything out here, the roads out here. So.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of touring through here, but it's mostly been on the roads and the main roads through the Carrizo, which are well-traveled roads. You know, people go out and look at the flowers, but yeah, that stuff up on the hill was.
Yeah.
A lot of it seemed like it was private property too, because you go through some gates and you have to keep opening and closing the gates. But I don't know. Yeah, we don't know this area very well, and that's why we did it. That's why we wanted to do this. It's just to get a feel for the Southern California mountains and use this now that we know more, we can plan it in for other bike tours, you know, adventures. If we want to do some off-road stuff, we'll kind of have a feel for what this is like.
Yeah.
I mean, the first day was so beautiful. I mean, that climb was awesome. I love the single track descent, with the exception of those icy snowpacks that you couldn't ride through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see how. I mean, this is an unusual winter.
Yeah, there's still snow, and I guess maybe there's snow in the mountains at this time in April, but maybe I don't know.
I think the weather's year to year, it varies a lot here. You know, Southern California can vary quite a bit. But, you know, we're happy because there's going to be a lot of streams up here, so we don't have to carry as much water this time up the climb, which will be good. Yeah,
that would be good.
So yeah, that's our check-in. We're still trucking along. We'll see how far we go today, and then hopefully we'll finish it up on Sunday. I mean, that was our plan, finish it by Sunday. So
yeah, so
even though we feel like we got held back quite a bit more than we wanted to, we still might salvage it after all. We'll see. No promises yet. We'll see. We have a bailout option too. If we get through this first section of the climbing and we're just not making any progress, we can get down and there's a bailout at the highway. We can take a paved road right back. So that's our last resort, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I'd like to finish it. I mean, I would like to see the rest of it, but hey, you know, there's always another time. So fingers crossed we can make it, and so let's eat breakfast and get on the road.
All right, sounds good.
Nice.
we got it.
Pretty fast too, actually.
Yeah.
See the road up there? It's getting
That must be our road.
It's getting closer.
Yeah.
Every inch.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's kind of nice actually climbing on this single track trail. It feels like we're actually going up faster even though we're going slow. You know, when you ride on the road, it just seems like, you know, you have to cover a lot more miles in order to get up. Where this is a nice steady grade.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't really, it's a little steep to ride, but you're gaining altitude pretty fast, so you know, it's all walking, but none of this on and off the bike, which I think is a little better. How about you?
Good. Wow, we made it up here.
Good job.
Thank you.
I didn't think we were going to make it. I thought
Really
for
hard.
sure we were done yesterday. For sure.
Yeah, so we decided to keep going today. Yesterday we were wondering. And today here we are.
Yep. Do you think we'll make it to the end?
We'll have to wait and see.
No predictions
But-
yet. It's very wise of you not to make any predictions yet. That was a trick question. Alright, well, it's mid-morning on day 3, and we've been hiking for about, I don't know, 2.5 hours here. trying to get through just a few miles of this route. We crossed the creek back there, I don't know, maybe 30 times. But we just came up on this really stunning view. So check it out here.
Focus sometimes on making sure you have the right line, then you look up and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been hard to focus on the views today.
But yeah, then you look up and you're amazed.
Definitely not what I would consider easy or rideable terrain. Hopefully it starts being rideable up here somewhere. I think I said it was the start of day 3 back there, but I actually meant it's the start of day 4. We started on Thursday and it's now Sunday. This is the day we were hoping to finish. We still got a lot to do, so I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, or if we can do it. I think we still have like 50 miles to go. So I don't know. Made it!
Wow, shall we celebrate?
Let's celebrate. Wow, that was so much easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was like, I've heard this thing is hard, but I'm telling you, everyone should sign up next year, right? It's super easy. You just go out, you get to lay in the flowers and the chorizo. You get to climb just these gentle, beautiful switchbacks with just endless, perfect gravel roads. Just manicured to perfection.
Yeah.
And you get these there's campsites everywhere. Yeah.
Water.
I highly recommend it. So we'll see you next year. Yeah?
Yep.
And you get to finish here at the AM PM. All right, well, let's get some beverages. Good morning from day 5. We're here in a hotel. We are about, 12 miles from the finish, Miss Schools? 10, or maybe 10 to 12. Well, probably 12 because we have to make that extra little loop. So we're about 12 miles from the finish, and we stayed at this hotel last night, and we feel a lot better this morning. A couple things I wanted to mention about this route and equipment choices. I mean, I have a bunch of thoughts about equipment choices, but one thing I want to point out about mountain bike shoes that I discovered is, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the insole that goes inside my mountain bike shoe. And it has a lot of perforations in it, which is great. I don't know if it's showing up in the camera, which is great for ventilation. But when you're creek crossing 50 creek crossings and you're picking up little sand pebbles, the little sand pebbles get caught inside these little holes. And then you're standing on sandpaper for 12 hours a day, or you stop and you have to try to pick the little sand grains out. So for a mountain bike shoe to have something that glaringly wrong with it, I would think somebody would have pointed this out before me. I know I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I would have thought that somebody would have mentioned this or noticed this right away and maybe made a suggestion to the company that made these shoes. Anyway, that's just a thought on the equipment side for the route. We did make it in last night. The descent was gnarly. It was very unrideable. A lot of the trails out here were unrideable. There were sections you could ride and then you'd have to get off and walk because they were either too steep, too loose. They've been torn up by moto riders. They create these banks to try to, throttle through the turns really fast, and it creates a rut, and then the rain just kind of washes into that and really destroys the trail. So Southern California trails have a lot of that, it seemed like. The fire roads that were up at the top, the Forest Service roads, a lot of them got beat up from cows ranching out there. So it rained. We got a lot of rain this year, and then they set the cattle up, and the cattle put enormous footprint holes pocked all over the roads, so you can't ride over it without just getting shaken to death. So that's unfortunate, but there were some nice single track trails that we couldn't ride, but they were still really nice, and I actually liked the fact that we went up them. And that was on day 3 when we were hiking up to the top of Sierra Madre Road from the New Cuyama area. I don't know all the names of the campgrounds and stuff we were at, but that hike was very nice, and I like the fact that it was unrideable because you could just get off the bike that day and just push your bike up this hill. The gradient was just right. It wasn't too steep, and you get all the way to the summit. So I really like that. And then that park area, well, I say park, but it's the painted rock area with the green grass at the top was just spectacular. So a lot of beautiful places in the Los Padres, and a lot of little hidden gems that I didn't know about. And I think that's why I wanted to do this tour. I wanted to see what was in these mountains and see it from the local perspective. The people who make these rides and routes, they are, this is their terrain, and they know where to connect together all these little hidden gems and make the ride really spectacular in sort of like a theatrical way almost. And so that's why I really appreciate the bikepacking community and the people who have a real passion for this type of sport. I'll tell you, it is not it's not easy at all. It's a very difficult type of riding, but the reward of seeing these areas that you wouldn't see is, I think, the worthwhile part of it. And just to see it from the inside, like I said, to see it from the insider's view of what they've discovered and how they see it. When you go through their land, you get to see it from their eyes when they make a route for you.
What was
Morning.
morning?
That's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
We're vlogging. Vlogging.
You guys on a bike travel tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did the Tour de Los Padres.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was an event that they started here on Thursday, and we rode out through the Carrizo Plain and up into the Los Padres Mountains and all the way back around.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That sounds beautiful. Yeah.
It was gorgeous, yeah.
I've seen some bikers out through Lockwood Valley on Lockwood Road. Did you guys go out that way?
We did, yep.
And that goes all the way to almost Ojai or something? Or hits
It does.
Hits a divide and then you can go. I don't
Yeah.
know all the freeways and stuff. I'm from Huntington Beach, so
Yeah.
or
Oh,
the
yeah.
highways, so I'm still learning. People go, oh, you just take the 33 or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did you just move here recently?
July.
July.
Yeah, my mom passed, and I'm like, okay, time for book 2 in my life.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, when you're 57, you've already had volume 1, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
And then
volume
time
2.
for volume 2, yeah.
Nice. This is a nice little town.
It is.
I love the houses up on the hills, and
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty quaint, very, very small town. Like for me, it's kind of out of a movie. You know, I've never lived in a place like this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a movie set.
1% of the population of Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you were before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a house there for like 50 years. So
Wow.
No kidding.
This is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. So it must have been.
I'm 57, so
Mm-hmm.
at 6 years old, we moved to Huntington from Downey. So
All right. This is our bug on my glasses. This is our last push, I think. Got about a 1,200 foot climb to do here. One that's too steep to ride, unfortunately. So easier to walk this one. Grades are just like 16, 17, 18%. So we're gonna walk it about 1,200 feet or so, and then hopefully descend down to the car, and poof, we're done. So maybe we made it after all. I guess we'll see when we get there. Okay, there's the finish down there somewhere in that little valley. Just have to do this trail here. I think we did it.
Did great. Yes, you did.
If you would have asked me day 2 or day 3 if we were going to finish, I would have said no. There's no way we're going to do it. How about you? Did you have confidence the whole time?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we would decide to do the end or not. Part of it got really hard in the middle, so we were kind of trying to decide whether to do the end or not. So I wasn't sure. But here we are.
How's that feel? Sticking through it.
Yeah, we did. We stuck through it.
I can't wait for that ice cold beverage.
Yeah, that's gonna be really nice.
I think we earned it this time. Well,
I think I could hear. Is that water fuel?
I think it's
No,
just.
that's the wind in the trees.
Yeah.
But there's a new water. So.
Wow, this feeling of finishing is always so nice.
Yeah.
But we're not totally done, so let's just keep on rolling.